Because if I was ready, I would have my phone out and ready. Right, y'all? Hey. You know what it is. It is a moment with Purple, and we are live all over your aux and your TV screens and your smartphones right now with our interview series, our amazing interview series, our premiere interview series, Why Vote, Why Now, right here on PQRadio1.com. I am your host, Sajda Purple Blackwell, and we have our guest joining us today, attorney Damaris Garcia.
Hi, good afternoon.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone watching.
Yes, absolutely. And automatically, when you say Garcia, you want to talk Spanish, you say, hola, mi gente. ¿Tú hablas español también?
Sí, yo hablo español muy bien, gracias.
Sí, wonderful. That means she can have that bilingual ticket popping off. You know what I'm saying? And that's interesting to go right into because as Black and brown people in the city of Philadelphia, I would say that the numbers are still outweighing. Like there's more Black people who vote than brown people, in particular, people who have a Spanish or Hispanic background. So what do you feel like? You are an attorney. You're running for?
Judge of the Court of Common Pleas of Philadelphia.
Right.
And yes, I am Puerto Rican. I am from North Philly, from the Kensington area.
Okay, say it then. I said, say it then.
My roots go from all the way down at Norris Square, 2nd and Diamond, all the way up to 2nd and Allegheny, all around. So I'll maybe name it, I still have family there. I'm there. I'm very present in the community. I love my people. And I love this city. I love all the people of this city. And one thing that I keep hearing during this whole process of campaigning is the fact that the Latino vote is needed. My understanding is that there's about anywhere from 16 to 20% of the residents in Philadelphia are Latino.
Yes.
And we need representation. And so I need for all of us, Latinos and everyone, to see that there is a woman that has 20 years of trial experience, that is from here, that understands the people of all the communities across the city, and that is qualified to sit on that bench and to get out there, register to vote, and vote for the best candidate. I'm one of them.
Yes, I love it. She came and ran it quick. And that's really important to see. And I say this all the time, especially, for Black and brown people. If you see it, you can be it.
Yes.
So you are, as you're standing here living and breathing, you are an example of that. We can see it. We can touch it. It can happen. You could be a lawyer. Yeah. You could be a lawyer and you could be Hispanic. You could be Black, brown, and you can actually go on for 20 years and have experience and then run for judge. I said, you better run.
That's true. And I'll tell you right now, there are no lawyers in my family. I didn't grow up that way. I just, as a kid, I just had this idea that it would be real cool to be a trial attorney. It'd be in court. I didn't know what a trial attorney was, but right. I want to be that lady in that suit in front of the judge with the jury and doing that. And I stuck with that. I had a passion for that, and I had to find a way to make it happen. And I'm blessed with a mom, a grandmother that both worked hard, a stepfather that loves me and that helped me, guide me to help me figure this out, how I'm going to get to become a trial attorney. And I did that. And I felt the need, after many years of trying cases in our Philadelphia courts, realizing that we need more people that look like all of us across the city. Our benches need to be diversified. Our benches need to be culturally sensitive and culturally aware.
Yes.
Our benches need some bilingual people. And I'm that person. So I'm just asking for your help, for your support. I'm asking for the support of my people. Mi gente, por favor.
Yes, mi gente, por favor. Vota ahora.
Número de botones, número 13. My button number is 13 when you go into that voting booth on Tuesday, May 16th. My name is Damaris Garcia. I'm Democratic endorsed. I'm recommended by the Bar Association. I do a lot of in fact, I'm the chair of the Pro Bono Initiative.
I was about to tell you better speak it.
I'm the chair of the Pro Bono Initiative at the Democratic City Committee. And that is what brings me a lot of joy. I know what I do. I've been doing what I've been doing as a trial attorney for many years. But to give back to my people, to give back to those that are in need, it just really allows me. First of all, it fills me with joy. It fills me with, you all help me get to where I'm sitting at right now, right? To put me in this position to even be able to run for judge.
Yes.
And it fills me with joy to be able to give something back. Because I know that there are a lot of people in need and help, and there are few people that are willing to provide that help.
Right, and that can give that help.
Yeah.
We are still at at a point where there are not enough lawyers who look like you, who look like me.
True.
So that we're looking at the courtroom and we see, generally a white attorney, a white judge, white attorneys on both sides, but the defendant, and the prosecutor who's being prosecuted and defendant are both black and brown.
Yeah.
And you're only seeing, people who are in control of your destiny. So who are, representing you, who are judging over you, presiding over you. So that needs to change. And so that's why you may see me get a little excited, when we have people like Damaris come in before us, who are running for these very important seats. These judge seats going for 10 years, I'm going to say, until I'm purple in the face. You know what I'm saying? That is a long time for someone to be going into office. And so the more that we, shake it up, put more equity in these seats, color equity, racial equity, we need to see people of all colors.
Yes. And listen, we've got 10 seats to fill this term.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of seats.
That's a lot of seats.
And we need to fill those seats with people that are competent, that have the trial experience, that know the courtroom, that know the rules of evidence. Because the Court of Common Pleas is your trial court. That's where you go in and you put your evidence. You get a jury if you so want one. That's where all the facts and all the evidence, if it's admissible, if it's with, in compliance with the rules of evidence and the rules of procedure,
right.
That's where that comes in. You need a judge that's going to be able to make competent decisions to avoid these unnecessary appeals. And you want those judges also to know, to be representative of me, to be representative of you, whoever you are, and this entire city. We need good judges. Yes. We need a diverse panel of judges. Yes, there's 10 available.
Right.
And I'm asking you all to please make an informed decision. And I know that, a lot of people, and I get it. A lot of people are concerned with the mayoral race. I'm concerned with the mayoral race, with city council. I live in the city. I've been here my entire life. Yes. But judges matter, and it's necessary, and you will find that it's incredibly necessary. God forbid if you find yourself sitting in that seat as a plaintiff, as a defendant in a civil case, in a family case, in a criminal case, as a victim, as someone that's looking for relief, it's going to matter to you. So I'm asking, please take that into consideration and vote your conscience, vote who's competent. My name is Damaris Garcia. I'm button number 13.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your history, about Damaris's history. Like you said that you have 20 years experience. And so we want to know about that. What kind of law do you practice? What type of people do you help?
Sure. So first and foremost, I am from Philly, from North Philly, Kensington. I already said that. And I went through school because I knew my type. Like I knew how I was. I knew I had to hurry up and get it done. Right. Because I was afraid of taking a break and not being able to accomplish and finish what I had set out. So I went through school straight through, graduated law school in 2003, and immediately got the bar exam, license, and immediately started practicing. For the last 20 years, the majority of that time frame, I have been in our civil courts. I've been representing people like you and me, people that were injured, homeowners, business owners, and a lot of money damages cases, breach of contract cases, cases where people are seeking money relief, things like that. And in addition to that, because when I came out of law school, I wanted to get into wrongful convictions. Right. I wanted to go work for the federal defender and really, because that was something passionate to me because of people in my family and friends and friends of my, friends of my family that I know have been through certain struggles. But I fell into the civil work. I loved being in the trial courts. And in addition to that, that's where I really started my pro bono experience, is trying to help those people in underserved communities, particularly teenagers and young adults, because I know I needed it. And I know that there's kids out there, at my age today, I look back and I know there's kids out there that need it as well. And I want to be able to provide that if there's no one else to provide it to them.
Right, because and remember, and we need to get these young kids voting.
Yeah, because it matters. It matters. And so I want to inspire these kids, Look at those who are running now. We've got a lot of younger, but talented and well trained and well experienced people that are running. And we're there for 10 years. You want to be you want these judges that you're going to put on that bench to be able to relate to us all, right? The young, the middle-aged, our seniors.
Right.
And so to me personally, I want to see a bench that's able to be able to relate to all of those things. I can relate to all of those things because of my personal experience and the person of who I am.
So we know that the city is ridden with gun violence. We are scared to go to the store. Our grandmothers are being shot at, randomly. We can't have a barbecue because the block is being shot up. Where do you stand on when you get these types of cases that come before you, when you are able to be judged or voted in? Gun violence case comes in. I guess the gentleman maybe shot up the block. Like, where do you stand on the city's current epidemic of gun violence?
I'm a resident of the city. Like I said, I've lived in the city my entire life, and it worries me. I think twice before I go outside. I got a whole plan on how I'm going to get to the car, from the car to where I need to be, go around the block a few times to make sure everything is good before I park the car. Like, it's insane. Yeah, it's insane that I got to actually do that. And that's how I think, living in the city. I am worried myself. I need our legislators, our city council, our leaders to put laws in effect that are going to protect all of us, including me, right? It would be my job as a judge to be able to implement that law, to interpret that law and apply that law. I am hopeful that the laws that our city council is working on, that our mayor, whoever that may be, right, will make that a top priority, because it's a priority to me, and that we are able to dispense justice fairly. I'm worried about these kids. Every time I turn on my phone, I look, because I get constant notifications from all news outlets locally in the city. And I stay seeing something about a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old.
Every day.
And these kids, their brains haven't fully developed. They're going to go in and they're going to do all this time, and they come out and they still got their whole life ahead of them. And I want to be able to step in and stop that. If these kids come into my courtroom, these young adults come into my courtroom, I want to be able to put them in a position. But you got to understand, every case is different. Every case is judged by the facts. Okay. So I can't say that I could do the same thing in every single case. Every case is judged differently. But my hope is to be able to provide not only dispense justice for those victims, right? And to protect our city, but as well as try to put these younger individuals, adults and young kids, avail them to opportunities, avail them to education, avail them to trades while they're serving their time, so that when they get out, that they have a future, because they're going to have a whole life ahead of them. Hopefully they'll have a whole life ahead of them. Right.
We actually want our young people to be rehabilitated.
Recidivism rate, lowering the recidivism rate is so important to me. It's
That's really good.
Yeah.
So also, since we're talking about rehabilitation and the like, how do you feel about restorative justice? Is restorative justice practices something that you would encourage in your courtroom?
I would encourage it if the parties want it. It's not something, again, I have to take into account how the victim feels, how the defendant, if they so admit, and they're open to it, and whether it would be beneficial to all parties or whether it would do more damage to the victim. So again, that's something to be taken on a case-by-case basis. Do I think that it's a good idea? Ideally, theoretically, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
But again, I would defer that to the victim. If they need that to help move them towards healing, because you can't undo these wrongs, right? You can only, the most we can do is give them some measure of justice, right? To the letter of the law, but if that would help ease the pain of the victim, if that would help put in addition to that, if that would help put the defendant, if they so choose, in a better mindset, to change their mind or to change their outlook, to change their heart, should they have the ability to come back out into society, I would definitely be open to it.
That's good. And restorative justice, for those who don't know, it's all about repairing the harm, and doing it in community. So it's something that's being encouraged and talked about a lot more as we have pushed the restorative cities practice of restorative justice. Example, one of the mayoral candidates is a grocery store owner, as we know. And during the riots and the upset, kids came in, young people came in and trashed the store. They stole, they did everything. They committed crimes. But with restorative justice, with theory and action, they were able to reconsider putting these kids in jail, and instead they allowed these kids to work off, for the community to come together and say, okay, what harm was done?
Yeah.
How can this harm be repaired without going to jail? And all parties were in agreement with, okay, this is how this harm can be done. You can go to therapy, you can work off the debt, you can work in the store to work off your debt, things that then prevented them from having to go to jail. So I was couldn't link to that. So that's the theory of restorative justice, and it can work in different levels.
Right. And to me, I think that's an excellent approach to resolving that particular issue, right, involving what you just said. Because we're not talking about, we're talking about a crime. A crime was committed.
Right.
There was damage and there was wrong done. But again, it's about putting these kids making them understand that they were wrong.
Right.
Having them pay, so to speak, for their wrong,
right,
but also teaching them better so that they make better decisions. Because listen, these kids are our future. I know that sounds bad.
No, I know.
I see it all the time. It's the truth. They're our future. They are half my age.
Yes.
And if we work on them, there's a better chance for us and our future, and there's definitely going to be a better chance for them in a better city.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes also to my point that and I've said it throughout this series, you're going to hear this, it's rhetoric, it's repetitive theory for me. We need to put back civics in schools. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I feel like we need to put some type of education and say, we need, a law enforcement education, something like, okay, if you carry a gun, you get caught, you go to jail for 15 years. I'm not saying that this is the law, but if they had education at younger levels of if you shoot somebody, you're going to jail for 25 years. Like, really educate people on the law. Yeah. Educate our kids so they can make better decisions.
Yes, they can weigh their consequences. A lot of these kids go in, they get jammed up. They're in, or young adults, they get jammed up and they're sitting in a police station, they're talking to the lawyers, and now they find out what the consequence of that action is.
Right.
And they're dumbfounded. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. And now it's too late.
If I had a dime or a penny for everybody who said, I didn't know that, Yeah. And that's my thing. Bring back civics, bring some type of law enforcement education. I don't even know what to be coined, but I'm going to work on this. We got something here, and financial literacy, of course, because I also feel like if our kids were learning money, mm-hmm. And instead of being on, Fortnite, not that I'm voting for Ameritrade, but we're on Ameritrade and all those kind of things, watching their money grow, it will be, I'm not robbing you and killing you. I'm not jealous over you if I got money too.
Yeah. And you know what? I know I hear about that a lot today, right? I'm 44 years old. Okay. I wish that was available to me when I was a kid, because I had to learn some things the hard way. You know what I mean? And so just the idea that now we're promoting that to our youth, I love that.
Yes.
Because, these kids, there's so much. If they want to go to college, they got to face loans. If they want to buy a home, or even a little piece of property to invest or something, all of that is going to require credit. It's going to require savings.
Money.
And so absolutely, I'm so happy to hear that that's an issue that we're pushing in the forefront.
Yeah, I'm lifting up.
But man, I wish that was available when I was a kid.
Listen, when I was going to Penn State and got my first credit card, mm-hmm. baby, then I didn't understand that I had to pay this back. I need to probably have some money mm-hmm. to make payments on a monthly basis.
That's how I thought. Yeah. I knew I had to pay it back, but I was like, oh, we can pay it in increments. Yeah. I'm not thinking about the interest rate. Yes. I'm not thinking about those pair of shoes that I bought. I'm gonna end up paying 3 times the amount.
And then I need to pay it by the 15th, or else I was gonna be damaging my credit.
Yeah, and I had to learn quick. So thankfully.
Yes. Very important. So again, tell them again who you are and what you're running for, because we want to make sure we plug that constantly.
Yes. So again, my name is Damaris Garcia, and I am running for Judge of the Court of Common Pleas. I'm button number 13. Please keep in mind that I am endorsed by the Democratic Party of the city committee. And I'm also recommended by the Bar Association.
Yes, and she, again, is endorsed by the Democratic ticket. So you will see her if you receive one of them Democratic ballots, at the polling place. if your ward leader and committee people are doing their job, you will have a list. Please do your job, committee people, ward leader. Listen, I am elected committee person, and I pledge to do my job, make sure that my people, my 6 block radius, have the information that they're supposed to have, disseminated out there so that we can make the right decisions at these polls on election day, which is
May 16th, Tuesday, May 16th. We are 8 days away.
That's it.
Right? Make your plan. If you don't have a ride, call city committee. We'll figure something out. We need you there.
Yes.
You know, we need good judges. We need good people in these open seats. So I'm asking you to please, genuinely please, make a plan to vote. Give us a call. Call your committee people. Call your ward leader.
Yes.
Reach out to them. Reach out to me on social media. I'm at Garcia for Judge on Instagram, on Facebook. And let's connect. Let me help you through this.
Absolutely. And again, we cannot elude the fact that you're stating several times that you're from Kensington.
I'm from Kensington.
So Philadelphia, if you're from Kensington, that means that, and when you say Kensington in your mind, the first thing you think about is dope fiends leaning over on a corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you think of, period. So do you have any ideas as a judge, or there are parts of programs that you feel like, instead of locking people up for their addiction, that you would maybe recommend, or what would you do when a dope fiend, shoots at another dope fiend that's in front of you? What? So what and respectively, dope fiend or addicted people.
Yes. So what's most concerning to me, because I've seen it. I've seen it so much that you almost become numb to it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's, you walk past it, you see somebody nodded out, I remember being a kid, like, not understanding, but thinking it was funny, until I, realized growing up, like, my mom's grabbing me, like, nah, and then you start realizing, like, oh, this is what it is. Or that uncle, or that, cousin. Right. All of a sudden you realize, oh no, they're not constantly sleepy. Like, so I have experienced those issues in my family and some of my close personal friends. They need help. Okay. I doubt that they woke up one day and said, I want to be a heroin addict. Right. I want to be addicted to cocaine, or whatever the drug of choice is. Right. Right. It became a way of life, and it became a necessity. We need treatment centers. Mm-hmm. We need long-term treatment centers. Yeah. And if that is available to me by the courts, because again, my job is to follow the law, right? I would so rather see these people go in. Drug court would be great. Mm-hmm. Make them accountable. Mm.
Is there such thing as drug court?
At this point, I don't believe so.
Oh, that's an interesting theory. You would like to create a drug court.
If there is one, like, I believe that there are some resources with the courts, with the criminal courts, to help alleviate the problem. Mm. But if I could help or assist in some other greater way, right, to be able to expand that, I would love to do that, because our people, locking them up in prison, they're going, where there's a will, there's a way. They're going to find a way.
You're going to get high if you want to get high. You're going to get high.
And so what is really needed is treatment, because if I don't know if they'll be getting it in prison, but long-term treatment is necessary. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm sure that that will help alleviate the problem. Okay. If I had the answer to make it go away, I would love to, I would love to bestow that on our city, but unfortunately, all I can do is help and with what's available to me right now. Mm-hmm. And so, that's why I'm depending on our mayor, I'm depending on city council, I'm depending on our residents, on our city, on our leaders, right, to help make that better.
Well, that's one. We appreciate that, and we have to ask, as we begin to wrap up, because we did interview someone, and I wasn't able to get to all the comments, and so there was some comments on that should have been addressed when I was on air. Are there any, in your 20-year experience, are there any people who hate you? Some organizations who say, "Hey, you locked up 50 Puerto Ricans the other day and didn't know, they didn't tell anybody." Are there people out there who feel like you are not a good lawyer, or you've done things unjustly? Is there anything out there that we should know about?
I hope not. Not that I know of. I hope not.
Right.
I did a lot of civil work, so I can't say that, I was never a district attorney. I was never locking people up. Mm-hmm. My goal, though, was to really, become a defender and really right the wrongs of the wrongfully convicted. But my goal has always been to help people in need, right? To defend people and to help people get the representation that they need. So as far as I know, no.
Okay.
But reach out to me. There's a problem. Let's fix it.
Let's fix that. Very good. Very
Mm-hmm.
good. That is wonderful because out there there's a lot of things going on. We hear a lot of things. So we do appreciate your candor and being honest with us in regards to that. But I will say that I know that this young lady is about helping. And she does a lot of pro bono work. So that's one of the reasons why I want to have again the candidates that are who are running right now. On this show, we brought up those ones who are doing the work.
Yeah.
Who we know are doing the work. So we want to make sure that they have a platform to shine, that they've actually been, boots on the ground in one way or another. And I know for a fact that if you need to call down the Democratic Committee and you need some, really somebody to guide you in the right direction, whether they can help you or not, this is the one of the young ladies who will help you.
I will. Yeah.
And that's what's important. We actually need people to do what they say they're going to do and people be of their word, So that's very important as well. So we want to remind you, first of all, if you have any teenagers out there, and listen, if they are old enough to vote, they need to be voting on May 16th.
Yeah.
They need to be being educated on why they don't want to be in the system. Very point blank. Try to love on them babies, wrap your arms around them as much as you possibly can. This is the Why Vote, Why Now series where we're talking to wonderful candidates and people like Attorney Damaris Garcia from Kensington, North Side, even though West is best. You know what I'm saying? But is there any last things that you would like to share with the people?
Yes. No, please no. As a trial attorney and as hopefully your future judge, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you all. So I ask you for your support. And again, my name is Damaris Garcia. My button number is lucky number 13. And I ask you to please go out and vote May 16th and hit that number 13. And if you're voting by mail, you're going to see my name in the common pleas section. It's the sixth one down. Mm-hmm. Circle that little bubble in.
Little bubble, fill it in with your pencil.
Because I'm here to help. I have the ability to help. I have the qualifications, the compassion to help. And I can't do it without your help though. So button number 13, Damaris Garcia.
Get her done early and often. In case you forgot, I am your host, Saj the Purple Blackwell, right here on PQRadio1.com. Our 10th year anniversary this year, we are celebrating. So stay tuned for the details to come celebrate with your number one internet radio station, the first internet radio station founded by a Black woman here in the city of Philadelphia. So we're going to celebrate all things, great and happy and harmonious. So with that said, remember, where there is no vision, a people perish. Keep the faith, baby. See you in a few minutes. Bye.